The year is 2025. The world is not at war, but it is not at peace. A silent conflict rages, not with soldiers but with semiconductors. The prize, 6G, the next generation of wireless technology. Whoever controls it controls the future. A digital iron curtain is descending, dividing the world into two tech spheres. The new Cold War has begun. The West's first major move, a wave of sanctions in the late 2020s. These weren't old-school embargoes, they targeted the East's tech sector directly. High-end semiconductors, software tools and patents were suddenly off-limits. The goal crippled the East's ability to build advanced networks. Giants like Huawei and ZTE, plus hundreds of smaller firms and research labs were hit. The message: anyone fueling the East's 6G ambitions was a target. The West controlled the most advanced chip-making equipment and software. By cutting off this supply, they hoped to halt the East's progress. The impact was immediate. Eastern companies reeled, projects stalled, stock prices tumbled. For a moment it looked like the West had won. The East was isolated, forced to look inward. But the sanctions, meant to be a wall, became a catalyst. Instead of breaking their will, they hardened it. The East saw the blockade as a challenge, to become self-reliant, to innovate. The knockout punch woke a sleeping giant. The East was about to show what it could do with its back against the wall. The world watched as the East began to mobilize. The tech war had entered a new phase. The stakes were higher than ever. The West's strategy had unexpected consequences. The East was ready to fight back. The race was far from over. Cut off from Western technology, the East faced a choice: negotiate, wait, or build their own future. They chose to forge their own path. Leaders from China, Russia, and allies launched the 6G Sovereignty Initiative, a pledge to build everything from scratch. Governments poured billions into R&D, created new labs, and reformed education to train a new generation of engineers. Top talent returned home, driven by national pride and opportunity. The goal, not just to catch up, but to leapfrog the West. Self-sufficiency became the mantra, rebuilding the entire tech supply chain, from raw materials to software. They invested in their own semiconductor foundries and developed new chip design tools. Open-source standards replaced reliance on Western patents. Progress was slow, with many failures, but each success built confidence. A parallel tech universe began to emerge, free from Western control. This wasn't just China's story. Nations across Asia, the Middle East, and Africa joined in. Tired of dependence on Western corporations, they contributed research and resources. The Eastern Bloc became a vast, growing ecosystem. The movement gained momentum, attracting more countries. The East's risky bet was starting to pay off. The world was witnessing a new technological order. The East was no longer just catching up, it was setting the pace. The 6G Sovereignty Initiative was changing the game. The global balance of power was shifting. The East's determination was reshaping the future. The early years of the 6G Sovereignty Initiative were brutal. Eastern engineers faced daunting challenges. Early chips were slow, inefficient, and mocked by the West. But every failure became a lesson. Teams worked tirelessly, driven by pride and curiosity. The turning point, a Shanghai consortium's breakthrough in graphene and gallium nitride semiconductors. These new materials outperformed traditional silicon at 6G frequencies. Suddenly, the East wasn't just copying, it was innovating. Chiplet architectures allowed powerful modular processors, bypassing manufacturing limits. While the West shrank monolithic chips, the East built flexible, scalable systems. Another leap: AI was woven into the very fabric of Eastern 6G networks. Networks became adaptive, self-healing, and predictive. The West saw AI as an add-on. The East made it the core. This AI-native approach was a paradigm shift. The East's innovations were no longer just catching up, they were redefining the field. The world took notice. The East had found its checkmate move. The balance was tipping. The East's breakthroughs quickly became reality. The holographic internet emerged, real-time, 3D holographic communication, revolutionizing work, education, and social life. Terahertz sensing allowed networks to see their environment, enabling autonomous vehicles, smart factories, and advanced medical scans. The 6G network became the central nervous system of Eastern cities, managing power, water, and transportation with unprecedented efficiency. Traffic jams vanished, energy waste plummeted, and cities became more sustainable. The West talked about smart cities, the East built them. These weren't just gadgets, they formed a cohesive ecosystem. Holographic internet, terahertz sensing, and intelligent infrastructure worked seamlessly together. Doctors performed remote surgeries with real-time feedback. Architects walked through holographic buildings. The East's 6G was more than faster internet. It was a new platform for reality. The world saw what a different foundation could achieve. The East's vision was bold, integrated, and transformative. The technological gap was closing, and in some areas reversing. The West was forced to respond. The future was up for grabs. The East's 6G success triggered a seismic global shift. For decades, the West led in technology. Now the world was bipolar. Sanctions meant to preserve Western dominance had created a powerful rival. The East became a creator and innovator, not just a customer. Developing nations, once dependent on the West, now had a choice. The East offered attractive terms, building infrastructure, training engineers, and leapfrogging development stages. The West's influence shrank as more countries joined the Eastern ecosystem. Money and talent flowed eastward, fueling further innovation. Eastern tech giants became household names worldwide. The economic center of gravity shifted. Military and security implications followed. Eastern networks were secure, AI-driven, and independent. The West's technological edge was challenged. The global balance of power was in flux. The world became more complex, less predictable. The power shift was complete. The rules of the game had changed. The new tech world order was here. Today, in 2025, we live in a world divided by two internets, the Western open net and the Eastern sovereign net. Different technologies, standards, and philosophies, data doesn't flow freely between them. Crossing from one to the other means navigating digital borders. This split has reshaped commerce, culture, and politics. The dream of a unified global network is gone. Collaboration is harder, complexity is higher, and the digital Iron Curtain is real. Yet competition has sparked a wave of innovation. Both blocks push boundaries, delivering technologies once unimaginable. Developing nations now have leverage, playing both sides for better deals. The world is more divided, but also more dynamic. The future remains uncertain. Will the divide deepen, or will bridges be built? The choices of leaders, engineers, and citizens will decide. The 6G power shift has closed one chapter and opened another. The story of this new era is just beginning. The journey into the unknown continues.